begin tonight with what is fast becoming one of the most extraordinary governance controversies in recent Nigerian history. Just days after the presidency insisted that the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council never legally existed and that the man behind it is facing criminal prosecution, fresh documents have emerged suggesting that the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation not only received correspondence from the alleged fake council, but formally processed and forwarded one of its requests for official action. The matter is, of course, now before the courts, where the allegations against the accused will be determined. But beyond the criminal trial, if the presidency says the council was fictitious, how did it allegedly correspond with government institutions, seek official accommodation, interact with ministries, and appear to operate within the machinery of government? Were there institutional failures, administrative negligence, or something even more troubling? Well, my guest tonight understands better than most how the engine room of government actually works. He's a former secretary to the government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, and he joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Yeah, thank you, Charles.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
You've occupied arguably one of the most powerful administrative offices in Nigeria. Help Nigerians understand something fundamental. If someone writes to the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation claiming to head a federal agency, what verification process ordinarily takes place before that letter is acted upon?
I think this depends on the government. We are running an executive presidential system of government where whether or not you are allowed to do your duties depends on who occupies the topmost position. Some SGFs are just there to occupy the position while the authority is removed from them and given to some personal crony of the president. If the president's method is like that, fine. But in our own case, the president allowed me to do my job completely. Apart from coordinating the activities of government, part of it is appointments. The final approval lies with the president, but the appointment recommendations normally come through the office of the SGF, who puts up a memo to the president, and when the president approves, he sends the memo back to the SGF to issue appointment letters or to look for an alternative. But there are some processes where somebody else, like let's say somebody, the president's former classmate in primary school, will come in the house and say, Muhammadu, that boy, that young chap that was born while we were in Abaleki barracks, is now a grown-up man and he wants a job. Please, could you help get him a job? In that case, it doesn't come through the SGF. The president will just minute to the SGF, please appoint. If there's a specific appointment position, he'll say appoint as this and this, or he just say look for an appointment. In that case, the SGF will search for a vacancy, write a memo to the president, he will approve. In either case, the SGF is in the middle. He issues the appointment letters.
Right. So the SGF's office is often described as the engine room of the government.
Yes.
Is it realistic that correspondence from an agency that allegedly did not legally exist could be received, processed, and forwarded? Apologies for that. Is it possible that it could be received, processed, and forwarded without somebody asking in the SGF's office exactly who are these people?
No, if it's done, that means there's a dereliction of duty on the side of the SGF. If it were me, what I would do with that correspondence is to minute it down to one of the permanent secretaries, generally the permanent secretary, GSO, General Services Office, to treat. And what he treats is, in treating that, he locates in our own time, he will locate the file of the agency, and he will go through the processes of appointment, The act setting of that agency would sometimes say the position has to be advertised and interviewed and shortlisted, names sent to the president for approval. Some just president just approves. So the SGF will go through the file, and in that process of due diligence, we'll be able to find out whether such organization exists. Because then there will be no record for it in the SGF's office. So he will raise a red flag on it.
Right. So when you were SGF, anyone could simply not create an agency on paper and begin corresponding with ministries and departments? Or were there institutional checks that should immediately expose something like that?
Yeah, what we used to do is, if there's a new agency that either the president or one minister proposes to handle some specific assignments or duties, he will first of all raise a memo to the president, who will approve that such be created. And then a memo will be sent to the Federal Executive Council on that particular agency, and we will debate it. Now, sometimes it will require some legislation to give that agency legal mandate to operate. Some to just be within the presidential approval, and then the agency is created. Because really, you cannot appropriate funds to an agency that has not been legislated for. I mean, there has to be a legal basis for its existence. But first of all, it is the executive that raises such agency, makes the proposal, debates it. The Attorney General of the Federation will normally put an opinion on it. And then, if the Federal Executive Council approves, it's sent to the legislature for legal establishment.
Now, one of the documents now in the public domain shows the SGF's office forwarding a request from the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council to another government agency. Does forwarding such correspondence amount to official recognition, or can it simply be an administrative routine without validating the sender?
It should not have arisen in the first place if it is not legally approved agency. It should not exist. And the SGR would know that if it doesn't exist, on what basis is it forwarding a request? If it doesn't exist, such will not happen in our time.
Evidence says this council is fictitious, yet official documents suggest government offices were engaging with it. As a former SGF yourself, how do you reconcile those two positions? Because the presidency now says internal collaborators will be identified. Does that statement itself suggest this was more than the alleged actions of sort of an errant individual?
I don't like your characterization of everything as the presidency. I asked that question one time. I said,
well, I mean,
who is the president?
Statement is coming from the presidency, and that's the basis on which...
No, you have to be specific. See, the presidency is a whole gamut of agencies that report directly to the president through the SGF's office. You know, the whole of that entity is called the presidency. Now, when we talk of presidency, said this.
Well, we're talking about the spokes for the office of the president.
Okay, the spokesman to the president.
Yeah.
Well, he is not in a position. The president would, I'm sure, assume that such entity has gone through all the checks and balances before it is established, and therefore, not every communication from that agency needs to be verified. But as far as it is coming through the office of the SGF, due diligence must be done first before it is forwarded. Now, this is why I told you some of the administrative processes depend on who the president is. Before our time, all communications to the president used to go through the SGF from ministers. During the inauguration of our own administration, the president made a statement in which correspondences from the ministers to the president must go to the chief of staff. Now, you see, that is a change from the norm, but it has to be complied with. But I knew that the president was new, we were all new, and the speech, it was the chief of staff, of course, that wrote the speech. So we all know what has happened. But I don't communicate to the president through the chief of staff because I was the secretary to the government. And later, even some ministers realized that they wanted their communications attended to promptly, it should pass through the SGF's office, which has the data to process it.
Right.
The office of the chief of staff is a personal staff to the president, and just to organize the president for his functions to work very well. So it's not likely that the chief of staff would issue a press release on anything, because it's not the president has come his spokespeople who he will call and instruct to do what they need to do. But when the government is run in a dysfunctional manner, you create pockets of authorities, pockets of big men who think they don't need to go through the processes. Nigeria is too big for one man to be able to run single-handedly. But with this government, it has tended to be like the president has not realized that he's not governing Lagos. He's governing Nigeria, big, massive, with about 37 Lagoses. And so quite a few people that know him very well seem to have developed the attitude of sidelining other operators of the system because they have the president's ear or because they know how the president operates.
So you think the SGF might have been sidelined?
I don't think so. I mean, it's not thinking. This SGF has been sidelined in a lot of things from what we hear. It has been sidelined, a lot of things.
Right. Well, because the reason I ask is that when you look at what we are told has happened, opening accounts with the central bank, corresponding with ministries, seeking office accommodation, allegedly interacting with diplomats. I mean, these are not small administrative steps. No. Looking at that entire sequence, does it strike you more as institutional failure or institutional compromise?
It's institutional compromise, because in this, I sense there is quite a big racket going on. Somewhere along the line, I mean, if the agency was created by maybe one big man alone, and then he wants to go through the budget process, the budget office assigns the budget code according to the Charter of Accounting Chief Miss. So how did they manage to assign the budget code for this agency that does not exist? Who inserted? Because first of all, the budget office issues a budget circular to MTAs, and everybody starts to prepare his budget according to the budget line. They give you ceilings, and you prepare your budget and forward it to the budget office as an agency or ministry. Now, the Ministry of Budget and Planning would, at time, call every MDA to come and defend its budget. Now, if you don't exist, how do they recognize that you are?
That's a good point.
If you are a genuine entity, who gave out the budget code and allowed their budget to pass? If that system fails at the ministry level, there is an appropriation committee in the House of Rep. There's one in the National and the Senate. At least one of them, when they are doing the budget oversight, or when they are preparing the budget, should be able to know that based on the chart of accounts, based on the budget of last year, there's a new agency that has come up, which was not in last year's budget. How did it come about? And they can flag it there and begin to trace. And then, of course, they will call the MDA to come and defend the budget.
And that's what oversight is about.
That is what oversight is. Yeah, they'll call it to come. In my own time, all the 23 agencies that report directly to the SGF, when it's time to defend the budget, I attend. I attend with the MDA that's going to defend the budget. So now, why would they not detect that this MDA reports to who? If that MDA is part of the presidency, that it reports to the president through the SGF.
Kola, welcome. Greetings to you.
Because before it gets to the National Assembly, that budget goes also.
Right. So in that regard, how much responsibility ultimately rests with the office of the Secretary to the government when something like this happens?
I can tell you, unless there's a dereliction of duty by the SGS office, the responsibility to flag that this is a fake agency would have come from them. But if after some time maybe they feel so much sidelined that they don't care, they just look the other way because but the responsibility to flag that comes from the SGS office. It has to. I would do, if that happens to me, I'll go to the president. If you sideline me, I'll go to the president. I protest immediately. So nobody sidelines me because they know I don't accept it.
They know not to cross you.
Yeah, they know not to cross me. Yeah.
But do you think, knowing what you know so far, and I know some of the information is not, all available, and part of it, the criminal element of it is in court and all the rest of it. Do you think Nigerians, as a former secretary to the government of the Federation, deserve a full administrative inquiry into how this allegedly happened, separate from the criminal proceedings already before the court?
I don't think it should even be administrative alone. It should be judicial inquiry.
Right.
Because, you see, Nigerians are talking about how 1.3 billion naira was inserted into the budget. The man himself first said the quarrel came about because he refused to part with 48% of the 27-point-something billion naira take-off grants. That money has been spent before this is looking for the budget. Who gave it the money? It was not appropriated for, it's not in any budget, that 27.5 billion for which he says somebody demanded 48%. Who gave him the money? How did the process of generating the request for the release come up? How did it go up? We are just talking about the tip of the iceberg here. Down there, before we got here, 28.5 billion had already been disbursed, according to him, as take-off grants. How did that money get to him? It was not in the budget. So this is what should frighten us. If such money can go to a fictitious organization, we only now begin to see it when we are quarreling about how did it get into the budget. How did that money get to them?
The presidency argues that the system ultimately worked because suspicious officials reported the matter and the alleged fraud was detected. Is that evidence that the safeguards functioned or evidence that they failed for far too long before eventually working?
Charles, I think we all know that thieves and armed robbers always fight and they expose themselves during sharing. His complaint was that the presidency was after him because somebody demanded 48% of the takeoff grant of 27.5 billion. And so somebody was not happy since he refused to part with that money. So you see, that's how we got to know this to start with.
Yep.
That is the reason why we got to know this.
Exactly.
On side of the coin.
Yep.
It's about the sharing of the...
It was the sharing formula.
That's why the thing came up. So it didn't work. It should have worked before that money left the government coffers to the account of the agency. There are papers that must be signed before you can open an account with any bank. Accountant General must those the papers, give the permission, he must give the signatories to the account. All this due diligence must be there because those signatures are captured into the GIFMIS. This money left.
Some opposition parties, including your former party, the ADC, have called for senior officials to step aside while investigations continue. From a governance perspective, is that good democratic practice or is it premature at this stage?
It depends on the will of the president.
Well, your own assessment.
Well, I can use myself as an example. When there was this brouhaha between me and the Senate, you remember the president, I was not the president, but I was suspended for some time while investigation was going on. So now that is best practice, isn't it? But it's more than this, because he had named who he was quarreling with. He has named he was quarreling with Gbajagate. And he has named, for example, that he bought the appointment for 600 million naira and they deposited 400 million. That is serious enough on its own. That's a serious enough case, a separate enough case apart from whether conniving to register. But or the presidency avoided that issue. Did he buy the appointment? Did he buy the appointment or he didn't buy it? Nobody talked about that. But if he bought the appointment as a business, that is what gives him the courage to say he's not going to part with 48% of the profits he's going to make.
Well, the man himself says all will be exposed in court. That's what he's been suggesting. But a lot of people
I'm telling
are
you,
calling
Kola.
for separate
Alibaba,
inquiries
Tinubu
apart
and his
from the
40
criminal
thieves.
proceedings. But if you were still SGF today, what immediate steps would you recommend that the president should take, not to manage the politics, but to restore public confidence?
If at the top point of SGF, the SGF didn't flag this as a fictitious agency. I think it was the chief of staff that went public with it. Now, he went public with it because obviously the internal processes had failed or had not been initiated. But within them, they should have done some internal review of the problem until it becomes intractable or until it gets to a stage where the people need to know. They didn't do anything about it. Everybody just kept going, was shifting memos, so on and so forth, until Gbajagate says he wrote to the police and so on and so forth. The SGF should have instituted an internal inquiry to find out, because they are the ones at the center of this, at the engine room, like you would like to say. They should have worked out. It's them that should have involved the police or involved. What's the work of the chief of staff? The chief of staff just works with organized president's office. Why was he issuing press releases? On what basis? What was the basis of his involvement? Unless he was involved at the criminal stage of the thing. What if not? It's not the business. It's not his business.
So what do you think should happen at the SGF's office now?
It's already the thing already out of their hands. I believe now the thing is in the president's desk.
Right. So it's up to the president what action to take.
It's up to the president what action to take.
This controversy has also raised questions, and I think you touched on it briefly previously, about the National Assembly, where budgets are supposed to be scrutinized line by line.
Yes.
How could any allocation allegedly connected to a non-existent agency escape legislative scrutiny? I mean, does this episode expose weaknesses not only within the executive, but also about legislative oversight?
Legislative oversight. The National Assembly, the first
exactly.
Budget,
this time is not going to work.
They only go to see the copy of the budget.
Can bribe all he wants.
So this government, this National Assembly has no interest in scrutinizing the budget that comes before them.
Absolutely.
Most of the legislators just go in there to earn their salaries,
that's it,
collect allowances and go.
They
don't scrutinize the budget line by line. So I believe that we all know how this particular government works. There are some people that when they talk, nobody else has the authority to contravene.
So in that regard, do you think this is an isolated incident, or does it expose deeper structural weaknesses in this administration?
It's not a once-off thing. The issue of buying of appointment is not new. People have been hearing it as rumors. There are allegations all over that in this government, people buy appointments. We've had it on the streets. And so this is not a new.
But is it unique to this government, or has that been practiced for a long period of time?
I don't know. In our time, nobody was buying appointment.
At least not to your knowledge.
No, it's not to my knowledge. It's not to my knowledge that people buy appointment. It probably could be, but I wouldn't know that.
Right.
It's not part of our mandate to know such things.
You've served at the highest levels of government. When ordinary Nigerians hear that an office described by the presidency as fictitious was nevertheless able to interact with government institutions, many conclude that government itself has become too porous. Are they wrong to reach that conclusion, or has this controversy genuinely exposed serious institutional weaknesses that must now be fixed? I mean, that's what I'm talking about, beyond this particular government.
This government doesn't take governance seriously.
Yeah, but this government portrays itself as a
the likes of Sheung.
Government. So that is
instead of doing that, they bring Alimodu Sheriff, a known terrorist protector.
That's what
to
they
come
are.
and distract, to try to distract the
Nigerians
people.
are not surprised. We are only interested in
The
this
media
because
is
we
the
have an
biggest
opportunity
problem in
to
Nigeria.
poke attacks on the government, not because we don't know that these things happen in this government. It's so porous. There are so many power centers that nobody does the budget. Nobody implements budget. Ministers go to the office and sit down and read newspapers. Overheads, so maybe if they are lucky, it comes one per quarter. I think it's paid quarterly. Some government don't even get overheads. Everybody's redundant, but this money is being appropriated and money is being spent, but nobody sees where the money is going to. So that is part of the loopholes. Why are you not interested in 27.85 billion naira that had already been collected and spent? I mean, to an agency that we are claiming doesn't exist. Maybe the budget it exists, but it doesn't have a legal framework for its existence, but it exists. And there are a lot of powerful people that make sure it exists in that form. And those are the people we need to expose. The chief of staff, in particular, is so powerful, and the SGF is there, just reneging all his responsibilities, and nothing has happened now. When was this matter reported to the police? They say September, and we are just hearing it after maybe the man refused to part with 28%.
Well, in fairness, he has to. They have to carry out their own investigation. The police, obviously,
Since September.
It takes how long now?
Well,
Exactly.
I don't know.
So they have no interest until the thing
Came out.
The man chopped 13.something billion, which should have gone to them, and they said we'll pull him down.
Well, let me just say this, that much as we respect a lot of what you say, the presidency, the SGF's office, and the administration as a whole has a right of reply if they wanted to reply to
They should go F themselves. I beg. They should go and sit somewhere inside Poto. Anyway.
Listen up. Every time I hop on a rap beat, always tempted to rap about me. But let's talk about my country. Students been missing and they got me. Run it back. Students been missing. Money's been looting. Campaigns running. Few people talking. Tension risen. Me just watching. World Cup running. Distractions coming. Wait. Less of that, more of this. Everybody talking about the eyes on their wrist. Everybody wanna be the prize for the prince. Me, I just want to be the queen of the kings. Emperor, conqueror, warrior, I be your summertime in the cold. When you call, I'm a show. Queen of the Amazon, rule over the Babylon. One man battalion, bring on the marathon. Oh no, they never told you that I was a fire gun. Walk to the storm, still standing when the war is done. You never knew that lyrically you're my minion. Step into the place, boom, shaka, pow, kill them all. I work perfect under pressure.
I like that. She's talking about the Nigerian situation. I really like that. All right, let's get into this. Woo! Oh my God. Oh my God, they turn this Soludo Pikin music when they always dance to, they use and do AI. Oh my goodness. You they talk about, abeg, see, the journalists in Nigeria, shame on all of, we don't even have, let's not even, apart from Rufai, forget, we no get to. That is why Nigeria is in the situation it's in. That is the reason why.
corruption. Abi?
Yes.
President Tinubu says he's going to fight corruption. Abi?
Yes. No hiding place for corrupt officials.
No hiding place for corrupt officials. Where is better Edu? Did we hear anything about the end of the case? Where is the over 3 billion they spent on the refinery? Did we hear anything about the case? Eh? Where are the other corruption allegations? Did we hear anything about the case? Is El-Rufai they can put in jail because it's against them now? Where are the other, the President Tinubu government come out to tell us that, okay, oh, this was our finding based on the, what's it called, better Edu situation. No? Did they even give us the courtesy to even allow us as citizens? No. We're just hearing that, she had been cleared and all of that. We're hearing for some sources she had been cleared and all of that. Till today, the government didn't come and tell us the part we need to hear. The 3 billion, over 3 billion spent on these refineries that we said was blending plants, that some people said the fire is burning, refinery is working and all of that, that we said is panda. That's why I kept on singing, said the Alupandube, that they came to protest against us the other day. Where is the resolution on the refinery matter? Wait, Dr. Abba, were we not here when Daily Oye brought analysis of the new DNPC went to sign with some panda Chinese company? Have we heard anything? The government even say, okay, Daily Oye, bring this report, let's start investigating. Are investigations on? Are they briefing us? President Tinubu want to fight corruption.
Oh, one chance. Nigerians enter one chance. Yeah? It's up to you guys to kick them out. Unaye. I cannot play this Ali whether na Momodu Sheriff or whatever they call him, Modu Sheriff. I can never play his interview. A terrorist come Channels TV. Anyway, why am I surprised? Shebi Wike talk say all the Channels TV journalists get land for Abuja. Hey!
Is definitely wrong somewhere. I don't mean to be a bearer of bad tales, but good morning, trenches. Please help me tag who you can tag in the comment section. If APC can send an Ali Modu Sheriff, someone who has been accused of being linked with terrorism over and over again, they can send him to a national telly to go and speak against the Peter.
Hey!
Definitely wrong somewhere. And I'm going to say this one time. If you are a Nigerian, you are a Nigerian, both home and abroad, you should be worried. You should be fidgeting. You should be scared. Yeah, you don't know him. I don't want to shout. You remember Chibok girls? Oh yes, when they kidnapped the Chibok girls. You see this man, yeah, his name was mentioned. Not by a Nigerian, but by this man right here. Yes, this man was one of the negotiators for the release of Chibok girls. He said that his people, the people he was talking to, top politicians that are close to the Boko Haram, those who actually, guys, I'm going to put the article up here. And he mentioned the former governor. Guess the former governor. Guess now, Ali Modu Sheriff. You know when person they tell you say, oh, person when they talk to get level to the people. Don't worry, you know the politicians. We see the person here. That is the same person going on TV to talk about Peter Obi. These guys are so scared in security. My end, if Peter Obi comes in, they are so scared. For them to send an Ali Modu Sheriff in a same country, this man will be in jail in a same country. What's the name of this EFCC chairman? He will be roasting his brokers day and night. But no, he would rather carry me. He would rather carry me. This man, two-time governor of Borno State, was alleged to have mismanaged 300 billion. When you talk about the insecurity in the north, these are the people that should be grieved. Sorrow. I saw the interview yesterday. A shock. I would prefer a Sheikh Gumi over this man. Nah, Nigeria is not a real place. That's what I tell you again. If you are a Nigerian right now in 2026, you are watching an Ali Modu Sheriff, you should be worried. You should be scared. This corrupt. You know this woman now, and even if you can do it, we don't understand. There's the only money touching hand, 450 million. But you keep saying that, they investigated, no conviction. That is the problem of Nigeria, because these people don't get convicted, the crimes repeat in a circle. And tomorrow they become our heroes. Look at Ali Mondo Sheriff in television. They suppose, Shemus supposed wipe a court. I'm in a public space. I'm disgusted. In fact, if I did not have confidence in Peter Obi before, now I know there's something there. These people are desperately chasing. You too. In fact, if you don't get belief before, now you're supposed to put it. Because if I leave Modu Sheriff, I'll be granted an interview. We are close.
Eh?
Hopefully, Arewa youth, we ask their voices and explain Ali Modu Sheriff to us. Somebody say we move. I'm not talking about the PDP or no. I just got a PDP. Oh, PDP governors will tell you. Even young friends, they shock saying the television, they talk about me. This bunch of dingbats. These are people that should be incarcerated. These are not humans that should walk among us. When you talk about the crisis we face, you want to trace down to the roots. These are people that should not go free. Can't even believe. I have to come outside to make this video. I have to come outside from inside. Because if an Alimo do sheriff and be restless enough to go to the telly.
Una here oh, I see say 60% of una today say una never collect una PVC. Maybe na APC people na they turn that one. I don't know. But in case you are here, if this one not reach for you to go collect your PVC, I don't know what to tell you.
Perhaps one of the reasons a number of young people haven't really been, even those who have their voter cards, haven't been joining the process, is because they believe that their vote simply doesn't matter anymore. What would you say to them?
They don't matter.
If they vote, you cannot say two things at the same time. People say votes don't matter. At the same time, people complain that political parties are buying votes. If votes don't matter, why is anybody buying the votes?
Bam!
Of course votes matter. In fact, the larger the number of voters that turn out, the more difficult it is to rig an election. Again, the larger the number of voters that turn out, the more money that you have to spend if you're trying to buy votes. Because you may just be overwhelmed. So please, let's dispel all those myths. If votes don't matter, nobody will campaign. Nobody will even bother to speak to you.
I guess we have to find a way to get the youth to see that. And talking about youth,
Get the youth to see that. If they let me, they not see them now.
We feel we've come to that point now where again and again a generation will be given the opportunity to reshape the country, and that generation at this point in time is here. Past generations have done their best. They do what they can do and they shape it based on what they know. This present generation is doing their best and they will shape it based on what they know. And if you look at what they know, they have abilities beyond measures. You just need to look at the interaction we have on all socials, for instance, either coming from within Nigeria or outside Nigeria. The Nigerian conversation is very rich, is very robust, is very engaging. It's one that has projected itself to birth a reality, a possibility, dare I say, a change in the mindset of these actual people as well. So we cannot be frivolous with this reality. We have to discuss this reality. We have to engage on these realities. You know, there's always a parallel thing happening. So where we have the situations where, fair enough, we're not that brilliant at the moment. Country is in shambles, if we want to call a spade, but the conversations must happen in addendum with what is possible. So while we are going through this nation building process, as I would call it, we still have to gauge these possibilities, because those are the ones that would help us map out, you know, these realities.
Thank you for this particular setup, you know. Everywhere in the social media, a lot of things are going on, but I'm happy we are having a conversation about one of the most important countries in the world, you know, looking at the future. Nigeria sits at a very prominent place in view of what will unfold, in the whole world. If we're able to put our house together, we'll overcome our long lingering challenges and be able to launch ourselves into a new season, that the world could look up to. And I believe this lies on the emerging generation, of Nigerians to really understand their identity, their national identity, and their strength as a people, based on the qualities that nature has bestowed on them. And I believe that if they rise up to who they are, understand what they need to do in view of the purpose of their country, Nigeria, I'm sure that in the next few years, there will be this reference to Nigeria as one of the greatest nations in the world, because they fall within that range. The fact that things have not worked in favor of Nigeria and Nigerians is because we've lost
peace. Hello.
Leadership.
Hello.
Our forefathers have not really put on ground what is supposed to lay a solid foundation for that which we expected. But if they didn't do it because they don't have the knowledge and wherewithal, so now a generation must rise, to take what belongs to them. Destiny is never lost. It can only be delayed. But as far as you are willing to assess it, it's always waiting for. Also, I believe that this present generation of Nigerians, especially with what you are doing, awakening the mindset and bringing people together to reason and then act, I believe that in no distant time we'll begin to see a society that will become very functional and be able to become a reference point to other people, especially the African nations. Thank you.
That is the essence of this kind of conversation. Like I said, thank you for joining us, Chris. That is the essence of this conversation, is to really, really start bringing the possibilities of an absolute reality that has been projected for time immemorial. That at some point, a particular country will get to a point where it must tip the scale towards greatness. It must tip the scale towards possibilities. It must tip the scale towards citizens rising up to say, we want this, we want that, we want.
Okay, yeah. They've made Ali Modu Sheriff is being spoken about all over. The audacity.
Now today I want to talk about how flabbergasted I am by the sheer hypocrisy of foreigners who have made it their business to carry Tinubu on their shoulders and hail him for successes that only they can see. Let me run through a short list of some of the culprits. We have the International Monetary Fund, IMF, which has said a whole heap of stuff that makes Tinubu sound a lot better than he really is. I won't be specific because a lot of it is technical. Then there's the World Bank, my least favorites. The World Bank has been so flattering about Tinubu to the point of sycophancy that there have been times when I wondered if they had collected bribes from him. To be fair, I don't really believe that the almighty World Bank would sing solo. But when people keep on insisting that somebody who is clearly deeply flawed is kind of like okay and cool and doing just fine, you have to get a bit pissed off and accuse them of being heavily biased. Let me now move on to another culprit in the Tinubu praise singing chorus. The European Union. Those ones have said that Tinubu is committed to anti-terrorism and democratic integrity across West Africa. Have you ever heard anything more ridiculous at a time when the man is shutting down opposition parties and doing all kinds of mago-mago? They're assuring us that Tinubu is deeply invested in anti-terrorism measures at a time when children and adults are being raped, beheaded, abducted, and traumatized. Number 4 on my list of shame is the United Kingdom government, which, apart from the usual, oh, you're so fantastic, your reforms are marvelous, they're applauding Tinubu's collaborative efforts to strengthen legal mechanisms against asset corruption. Oh, wow! Are they talking about legal mechanisms like trying to put judges in his pockets and constantly tampering with legislation and doing voice votes in National Assembly instead of proper debates followed by proper voting? Are they talking about battles against asset corruption like dishing out contracts to cronies without due process?
Thank you, Madam Donu. This is how everybody ought to be campaigning in Nigeria.
When I come this market the other time, I come beg una, say make una go do una voters card. But now, no be beg, I come beg una again, I come warn una. Because I don't see and say, Nigerians, una know they like me, they tell una something soft. The other time I come show una this same banner. I tell una say, they carry children wey go school. They carry them go inside bush. Till now, those students in the inside bush. This is 1 month and 2 weeks. Hey! 1 month and 2 weeks. Small students in the inside bush. I beg una say, go get your voters card. Till now, none of una go get voters card. I come warn una say we get only 4 days remaining. 4 days now we get for you to go get your voters card. Voters registration dey end on the 10th of this month. I can't tell you now. Because
it's the 24th. It's been extended. Exactly.
Madam, I want to talk to this woman. You say, now, I'll tell you something. If the people, Madam, listen, wait. Madam, listen. If the people of Abia State talk this way they talk, say the voters card wey you do since 1990, what did they carry and do? Therefore, not get Alesoti today.
Bam!
They say, go to Alesoti they do. Those people, they not give up. They continue voting. They continue voting. Now, they don't get Alesoti. If at this point in time, you got to say, because say you vote the other time, wrong person enter, it means that you don't go vote again. You are even worse than the people where even vote wrong. You are worse than them. Because if all of us get this mindset, they go do anything what they want to do. 6 months more children. Imagine say one of cup of beef, that's where you know the children dey inside here. They still dey bush. 1 month and 2 weeks. And they beg una no 1 year. Una no say inside the next 4 years, now they plan to do my wedding. Now they plan to do my wedding. So if you Tinubu enter power again, how you want to work? Go get your voters card. You have only 4 days remaining. 4 days. 4 days remaining. Why are they doing campaign? And they ask you, why are they doing campaign? They are doing it because if the vote does not count, why are they doing campaign? You know how much they spend to do campaign? You know you understand what you do. I say if to say the vote no go count, why are they doing campaign?
They are doing campaign because they want to collect that money from you.
Because they want to collect the money. Yes. So if that's to tell you they are doing campaign so that why did they give 5,000?
Exactly.
People will vote for them. That is why. They share money now. No, I tell you what. I tell you what they do. We escaped Ebola 2020. Then Ebola come as president for 2023. On the time you go escape COVID-19. Go and get your voters card. All the students in the inside bush now. You have only 4 days remaining. 4 days to go and get your voters card. I can't beg una before now. No be beg, I dey warn una. Because now all of us go suffer. The insecurity that we go suffer. Everything will go happen for this country now we go suffer. How you want it? Those of the way you travel to go buy things. Country no dey safe again, no. Go and get your voters card, it no concern you. Okay, I go do my part. I can't let you know say, now all of us now go enter this pepper soup. Waiting people they cook for us. Now all of us go enter the pepper soup. I know they beg anybody again. I dey call one una, make una know what they wait for us. I dey call tell una, you have only 4 days remaining. 4 days that remain. If you like, no listen to me now. No listen to me. You have only 4 days remaining to go get your voters card, to go do your voters registration. Now, listen. I will explain to you. You see this banner where I hold for, if you look this thing here, you go see say small children I put this banner, and you see how their body dey. These children they dey inside bush. They go school, they go kidnap them for inside school, carry them go bush. Our president wey be Tinubu, he no care. Tinubu no care. 1 month and 2 weeks, these students still dey inside bush. So now, I dey come tell you now, they come show now wetin dey happen so that now we go get una voters card to vote am out, to vote the right person.
The voting now to comot Tinubu now. Put another person.
Vote anybody wey you wan vote. Comot if I dey show you now why I carry this make you see wetin Tinubu government dey do. Good. I dey show you this make you see wetin Tinubu government dey do us. Make you see wetin Tinubu government dey do us. Yes, do you understand now? Now why I no dey beg una? Because under 4 years, next 4 years, now I want to my wedding. I want make country good so that I can plan my wedding. And they call you, make you come and tell you to go tell your mother to get voter card, you dey run. Now small pikin like you, they carry enter bush. Small pikin like you. Come see that you big pass all the students wey dey here. And they call you now tell you what you go tell your mama. You dey chop 200 naira dey go. Aya na. Go get your voter card. My man dey tell me say you no get voter card. You know me? Mama dey tell me say you no get voter card. You dey buy cloth. Buy cloth oh. Because the people enter power, everybody go naked. Everybody go naked. Buy cloth if you keep buy cloth now.
Oh my God.
I know they stop you from buying cloth. 6 months children, they kidnap them. 1 month and 2 weeks, they dey inside bush. Till now, Tinubu no dey do anything. Tinubu focus on 2027 election. We have only 4 days remaining to do your voters registration. Come video this copper. I like as this copper they look me. Video and me at a show. Show me. Now, why tell me they video you? Because when they want the election now they use.
Bam. Oh my God, that was funny.
Have a Yoruba president. We have also not had an Hausa president. Neither have we had an Igbo president. We cannot call the past leaders we have had, let's even start from Buhari. We can't call what Buhari had an Hausa presidency or a northern president because he didn't even favor the North. It was during his time that the North was declared the capital, poverty capital of the world. It was Buhari who gave us fake pyramid, the deep Paco and the fake rice pyramid. It was Buhari who gave us fake airline. It was Buhari who appointed so many northerners and the thing became a tribal thing. At the end of the day, did it go around? They will see the poverty capital of the world was still over there. Tinubu currently, Yoruba has cried Ebin Power, and Ebin Power is the Yoruba language, it's not an Igbo language. So they are the ones who are crying that they are hungry. It's not favoring them. I don't know if all of us are going to use the coastal highway because that's all they keep talking about that they have done. The coastal highway is in his third year, almost rounding off his first term, and this is his last term. He has not crossed Lagos with the coastal highway. So that is not what we need in Nigeria. We need a national president. We need a leader who knows what leadership is. Leadership is not giving me akara, giving me moimoi, giving me agbado and the rest of it. Leadership is not giving me food. Leadership is taking me to the promised land. What did you promise us before you came in? Take us to that place. Whoever does not have compassion cannot lead. The reason why most of these men cannot lead is because they know nothing about being compassionate. Peter Obi, we have seen him from his personal purse do unbelievable things that no politician alive, dead or alive, in this history of this country has ever given their kobo to humanity. We need a humanitarian president to save us. We need a president that will care about the people. We need, the reason why Lateef Jakonde is greatly celebrated because his leadership was people-oriented. He made sure there was housing for the people. He made sure there was education for the people. But these ones are always making sure we have coastal road. What are you doing for the people? So we need a humanitarian president. And Peter Obi is the best, is the only capacity. And he has made some promises. Yoruba thing did not favor you. This Hausa thing never favored us. We need to now tell
ourselves the truth and get our PVCs and get ready to vote. God bless you.
Hey, yep. Okay. Terrorists have issued Zamfara community quick notice to vacate their homes or face a deadly attack.
I have not. How many people will be left in the Tinubu administration if people with criminal antecedents are to be fired? So I don't want us to be carried away. I have had cause to describe this government as a carnival of thieves. I have not seen in my lifetime. I'm getting to almost 4 decades as a Nigerian. In my adult life as a Nigerian, I have never witnessed an administration where people who discredited individuals have been so emboldened to assume the heights, the pinnacle of political position. But let us dwell on the subject. The point is that on record it has been shown this man invited people from foreign delegations. You know the name of the agency we are talking about? Presidential Foreign Investment Advisory Council.
Okay.
Started the Boko Haram crisis in Borno State. The governor, Muhammadu Ali Sharif, addressed the press and attempted to insult the collective intelligence and memory of Nigerians by denying any links with the dangerous, dreaded Boko Haram sect. I did reply him and I'm expecting him to sue me because he said he wanted to sue an Australian. You don't need to go to Australia. What you are looking for in Sokoto is in the pocket of your Sokoto. I'm ready to join issues with him because not only did he sponsor that organization by providing funds for them. In 2003, he had a deal with the Boko Haram sect to get him to win the election. And if he won his re-election, he will compensate the organization. When he won that election, he appointed Alhaji Buku Foy as the Commissioner for Religious Affairs to implement that state. When the man attended the first Executive Council meeting, he discovered that they were all talking about contracts and how to steal money. So he went back to the camp, the Boko Haram camp, and said, where you send me to is Gida Barawi, the house of thieves. I can no longer be part of them. So he was asked to resign. And that was how Foy resigned from the government of Muhammadu Sharif. So to say that you don't know them is the greatest lie. I was just reminded this morning by somebody from Borno State that something was missing in my press statement. That in 2013, 2012, October 10, Alhaji Muhammadu Sharif was arrested in Cameroon on grounds of his Boko Haram connection. But the government here pleaded with the Cameroonian authorities to release him because he's a big man there. He cannot be arrested. A special envoy of President Goodluck Jonathan, Reverend Stephen Singh Davis, told the whole world that Alhaji Sharif,
the irresponsibility of the political elite by cashing in on this poverty. We all know what started Boko Haram.
What?
Everybody knows. It was started in Borno by the then Borno governor, Ali Sharif. He is still roaming the streets freely.
Serious?
Yes. When
what?
Yusuf was caught alive. Who created it? The ECOMOG. Who created the ECOMOG? We have to look at the root cause in order to find a solution. The root cause of that problem, as we know it today, is Ali Sharif. He used them for his own political machinery. He armed them as his political thirds. He even made one of them a commissioner. But they became too powerful.
Peter Obi don't suffer. Peter Obi don't suffer for una hand. Now this same Alimodu Sheriff get confidence and get mind. Sit down for TV, they talk about Peter Obi. This same SARS, Senator Alimodu Sheriff of Borno, Alimodu Sheriff of PDP chairmanship, now him get mind. Sit down for TV, they talk for this country, Nigeria. My country people, my talk no plenty. Now the way you stand, night cameraman go snap you. Once you show, say, as a people, you have the capacity and ability to tolerate criminality and criminals as leaders and in government, it go continue to dey go up. Every level of criminality where you tolerate, it go scale up. Make one day we no wake up for this country and a non-terrorist become your president. Not be the repentant one, not be the Oriburuku one where swear this thing, say, no. A known one. Why? Because you have built a system that rewards criminals and criminality, while people of integrity, naim they attack, naim they arrest, naim they investigate. My name is Peter for Nigeria. Alimodu Sheriff said they sit down for TV, talk about Peter Obi. 2027, Nigerians, wake up, shine your eye. Operation Rescue Yourself and dismantle this structure of criminality.
So, hey, okay, we have a couple more videos and then we'll call it a day. Come 2027, any Nigerian voting for APC is voting for terrorism to continue. Bam! Bam!
David Oyedepo respectfully come outside, come talk about the current incident where they happen for this politics.
What education do you want? Where did you get it from? But you bamboozle everybody. You are not doing well. You are not doing well. Yeah. They must tell you are not doing well.
Yes.
What's your problem? Now hear me. Please hear me. And answer me. Is this government doing well?
He talk the mind of the masses. Everybody they repost this thing when he talk. But now regime pastor choose to come outside, come they ask us if Tinubu, make Tinubu wear army uniform, go fight the bandits. No, make Tinubu no wear army uniform, go fight bandits. But the time of good luck, you yourself and Tinubu una come outside, come protest. Why now, when Tinubu no they do the same thing, where good luck no they do that time? Why you not come outside, come protest? You say, Tinubu they give orders. Now the people when they give order to, they know they do the thing. Now they know they do the thing. Why you not tell us make you remove those people? I mean, who know they do it work? They know they remove come up for office. He saying give order to people, they know they do the work. You know they remove them. All the people when they remove, they put the own people. So you know if you remove the army, put your own army. You know if you put your person where you go listen to them.
Exactly.
You see the nonsense that is coming out of your mouth, sir. This thing that you are saying there, it be like saying that small children. Now you they talk and they give. If this current situation of Nigeria they affect you, you know go to talk like this. If waiting they happen for this country now, so they affect you and your family and your church, you're not supposed to talk like this. David Oyedepo they respect you, but no, now you're supposed to respect that man because that man is a man of wisdom and understanding. Now, person where you understand the masses, even though he's not suffering, but he know what other people are going through. He asked the church, they see what they happen. He asked the church, but your members cannot talk based on say, our lady not talk, we not go fit talk. They're not supposed to fear you. As it stands now, you don't even deserve respect, sir. Because the respect you deserve it, only you don't use your hands spoil them. Time of good luck, you came outside to protest. Now, Tinubu they do the same work. Why you not come outside come protest? Why you not tell your members make all of them come outside? Since you sabi protest where so, you sabi protest. For just going to 4 years now, Tinubu don't scatter this country. You don't destroy this country. What did Tinubu they do now? And what did Goodluck they do that time? Which one worst? Which one worst? You are saying that Tinubu cannot be army uniform, but you can come outside and protest. Why you not come outside and come protest? Because na Tinubu they because he wife na your pastor, you not go feel protest. You be evil person. You be evil man. No, I just I don't know what you teach your people for church. The people when they come your church, I don't know what you teach them because this your wickedness is another level.
Small pikin don't talk. Gbajagate asked me for 12.5 billion from takeoff grant. When I refused to pay, he threatened to deal with me. PFIPCDG Adeniyi Adeyemi. Okay, now let's go back. Okay.
I detest the dog whistling of, I've said it on this program severally. I detest the dog whistling of an entire ethnic group in Nigeria. And let's state what it is. It's becoming one too many that we want to consistently and continuously scapegoat the Igbo ethnic tribe in Nigeria, and it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable because there is a history of violence targeted at that group since 1953 in our country. Listen, Caesar, a meeting was held in Lagos, or not necessarily in Parliament. Anthony Nahuru moved a motion for the independence of Nigeria. The North opposed that motion, and at the train station, when they were going back to their constituency, they met a crowd that was essentially mocking them. They got back to the North. Chief Akintola led a tour across the North, to campaign essentially for the independence, to rally the North in support of Nigerian independence. Guess what happened after that? Riots broke out in northern parts of Nigeria, particularly in Kano, where over 240 Igbos were massacred. Were they the ones that demanded for Nigeria to have an independence at that time? In 1966, particularly in May, months before the Civil War happened, thousands of them were massacred across northern cities, and they had to flee to the east for safety because thousands of them were indiscriminately killed for what they knew nothing about, right? So let's not even talk about the Civil War and the hundreds of thousands that were massacred, and the fact that after 1970, this entire ethnic group had to start from the scratch again to begin to build their lives. And Caesar, look at what they have done since 1970. A group that left or started from nothing, went to Bauchi, went to Kano, went to Meduguri, went to Akure, went to Ogun State. And look what they have built in 40 years of hard work, grit, and no support from the federal government. Look what they have done from the south. But what we consistently and continuously do is to signal hatred and violence against the group. And this thing has to stop. We can't continue a country. Listen, if you don't want a group of people to be a part, let them go then. I don't understand this. Every time there has to be an excuse to single out an ethnic group.
Bam.
That country. I don't think so. Because I've carried out the research. I compare China TikTok to Nigeria TikTok. If you watch China TikTok, today TikTok go dey hungry you. Today TikTok go dey hungry you. When you go to China TikTok, that is a country where the youth is ready to take over the future. Go to their TikTok, you see invention, manufacturing all kinds of products. Those are the people that are ready for the future. Whereas in my country, Papa. In my country, what you see in my country is just flaunting their nakedness, seduction everywhere. Boys smoking on live social media. Girls showing their boobs on their ass. A 14 years old girl have more than 15 million followers. And guess what she's showcasing? Yes. That they sweat. Other their dance when they do if not later one now, so okay. But people are not masturbating, misbehaving on live video just for likes, comments, and maybe some coins, gifts. And yet you see some senior uncle, senior bra, they inside the TikTok comment section. They say, wow, follow back, check your inbox, check your DM, follow me now. Nonsense generation. We now live in a society where morals is no longer celebrated. Morals is no longer celebrated. If you are doing well, upright, if you are righteous, they not condemn you. They call you Jew. That will not belong. You come like say you they share and say you do not belong. How did we get here? Who do we blame? Is it the government? Is it the system? The government has so much condemned the youth of this country to the extent they are not useless. My people used to say an idle mind is the devil workshop. Yes, they are idle. No use for them. Now they now resort to drug abuse and all manner of crimes in the society. How did we get here? They don't care about the future of this country because they know they will not be here when the future comes. So they want to contend the society. Nobody is correcting them. The society does not care anymore. The government does not care. Or is it the parents? The parents no longer care about raising a child in a good manner, in an upright manner. The parents no longer care. Nobody care. All they care about is chasing the bag. Money, money, money. What of the imam? What of the pastors? Our religious leaders? They no longer preach righteousness. All they care about is money and to gather more members because more members need more money. That's where we find ourselves. Because they know they preach righteousness and nobody go really they come their church again because they pierce their conscience. The ones where they buy private jets, they buy. The one where they buy cars, they buy. The one where they do all manner of nonsense in the society now. They're just doing it. Nobody cares about the future of the country, the future of the Nigeria youth. How did we get here? One of the lecturers, the teachers. Education is no longer a thing to be proud with. No wonder in my society now they're not calling school na scam or school na scam. How did we get here? Even the primary school exam, that's for 96 exam. They go send teacher follow them here. They'll say the teacher go write answer, may they give students. And yet you want to have a better future for the country? No! You cannot reap what you don't sow. You only reap what you sow. I see the other day they are dragging Miss Obama up, left, right. Everybody they drag her for social media. Where did you think she learned from? A girl that supposedly got 249 in JAM. It's supposed to be a good result, isn't it? But at the end of the day, because of the kind of society we find ourselves, because of the kind of leadership we find ourselves, the kind of parenting we find ourselves, they have got the manipulate results to 362. And who do we blame in that case? Who do we blame? Where she for learn? Where we have our leaders forging all manner of certificates. Nobody has been held responsible. Nobody proved them. So why make some man not follow you? Because we are not being celebrated for info and useless atrocity. The best graduating student for myself, as soon as you they talk now, if they are not banner, it's not a go and masquerade. Best graduating student. Nobody cares to celebrate morals anymore. As soon as you they talk now, this brother Nigeria don't come out again. Guess how much is for the winner? For iniquities, immorality, for sleeping on live videos. I mean on live for public space. They will give the household, brand ambassador, so you name it, and yet best graduating student go home with nothing. No wonder they say school is scam. Who do we blame? Who do we blame? Now the ones who find themselves for university, if lecturer not sleep with them, they'll say they go bring money. Why would they call it school and scam? Everybody is just corrupt, not minding the future of the country. If we continue like this, oh, I tell you, Nigeria will become a dumping site for all manner of craziness. The people when go crazy for future, they go past half of the people when go normal. More than half now go crazy for this country because they are involved themselves for all manner of drugs. Our hospital will be filled with kidney and liver disease because of all manner of things they have involved themselves in their youthful age. I wait for the future of Nigeria. This guy is not taking. If things are not done right now, our pastors have to wake up. The kingdom of darkness is winning. We have to start retrieving the youth and the future of this country. Otherwise, there's no country. Ordinary matches, Nigeria, they import and come. No manufacturing, nothing for my country. We go import Indomie, we go import matches. Nothing when we not go import. Not the fuel we they talk because that one, the years are over 90 degrees, no dates. I think electricity one stable for our country. Because our youth are involved in all manner of crime. Nobody is encouraging anybody to be inventful, to be full of ideas, to be creative. Nobody is encouraging them. So why would they be involved? Because it doesn't pay. Just imagine. And the ones who are normal for the country now, they don't japa. They don't japa, because they take care of another mass country. And you wonder who will remain in this country to be the future of this country. How will they reach here? Mr. President, Mr. Governor, you pastor, you parents are chasing the back. Let's wake up. Let's know what to do part time. Let's place our priority right. Otherwise, so agony and pain will be the order of the day. Well, I got to talk because all of Nana they don't say, Edda, you've stuck too long. No, because the problem for the country is too long. Even if you give me full day, you're not going to reach me to take off my nine. Well, a word they say is enough for the wise. A stitch in time that says says nine. Let's do the needful before we start regretting the future. Before the social media will be flooded with, please support Aruna as kidney issue. Let nobody disturb me for future with support because none of them they preach against it. The amount of alcohol and drugs they're pumping into their system. Please, let's wake up, parents. Let's wake up. Hey, Suru. What now? That one said, I can't tell you now. When I do well to share this video, like this video, when I go to hear my daughter, they cry for back. Now so the matter be business. Nobody they celebrate us when they do this kind of content. Nobody celebrates people like us that are doing this kind of content. If I do comedy, you know my comedy always preach morals. If I do comedy when I preach morals, they know they watch. Why? Because all over social media, if you never put pants or tight away, nobody
for
watch.
nobody
You're going down and down the street.
you must be doing dumb things to go viral. Don't be me and them. God forbid.
Stigmatize us up and down. Why? Because our country not let us stay. It's not comfortable. I beg you, I don't go. Una buy, una take care. You're not go carry my daughter.
On that note, thank you very much, guys. We'll continue to talk. I beg. Make una go collect una PVC. Na beg I dey beg una. Mo na enter una village. Collect PVC. 50% say they never collect their PVC and they never tell anybody. Maybe na APC people. I wan assume. But if I no wan assume, I beg. Those 50%, make una enter streets. Please. go and preach about collection of PVC. It will end on the 24th. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.